This is Glenn Hughes, the voice of rock, and you're listening to Music Mania.
You ready for some screaming heavy metal? We rock!
But the evil that men do lives on.
We gonna bang your head!
You are now listening to the Music Mania podcast, brought to you by CD Warehouse in Gladstone, the #1 hard rock podcast in the Midwest, featuring hard-hitting interviews with rock's living legends. And now, here's your host, Clint Switzer.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Music Mania podcast. I'm your host, Clint Switzer. Thanks so much for being with me. We always appreciate you hitting that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, or on Google Play Music. If you have a smartphone, guys, you have this show. We always appreciate the interaction and certainly you subscribing so that you never miss a show. The website, musicmaniapodcast.com. Guys, we are off and running into the warm spring and soon-to-be summer months. It is my time of the year. I'm always out hitting concerts, hitting all the big festivals, doing interviews. It's what I do. Nothing more that I like in this world than hitting the road, getting out on the open road, hitting the country, experiencing it all, getting the live shows, doing the interviews for you guys. It's what it's all about. That's what we do on this show is we bring the interviews to you. And this week, huge interviews. We're going to be talking with Peanut from 311, going to be joining us to talk about 311's upcoming album. It comes out June 28th. It's called Voyager. It is their 13th album. It's got 13 tracks, guys. 311, 30 years into their existence, and they are so excited about this album. We're going to be talking to Peanut about that, about the band, how they've become this summer touring sensation. Like they just are always hitting the road each summer, bringing huge shows. Fans are just clamoring to see 311 each summer. They're just one of those bands that you want to see during those warm summer months. 311 they just personify that like live summer music experience. You know, they're kind of eclectic mix of punk, funk, rock, fusion. It's all there. We all know the 311 hits from way back in the day when I remember first hearing Down, singing that on MTV, all the way to now, which is their 13th album. It's called Voyager. This summer, the tour, it starts June 29th. 35 shows in amphitheaters this summer. 311, Dirty Heads, The Interrupters, Dreamers, and Bikini Trill. It is a killer lineup. Get out there and check this out. In fact, you can get tickets for $20 right now. If you hit it this week, it's all part of Live Nation's $20 all-in concert promotion. You go to livenation.com. You can see what shows are available. For just $20, you can get to a lot of shows, including this 311 tour. Definitely can't wait to check that out. Apologize for my voice just a little bit. I've had like a cold, a little bit of, I don't know if it's seasonal allergies. I don't really feel like I'm a person that suffers from allergies. Maybe in my old age of 35, it's finally starting to set in on me, but I do apologize for my voice being a little gravelly. Luckily, I taped this interview with Aaron Willis, Peanut, before the voice kind of got bad. So yeah, absolutely cannot thank him enough. This is going to be an amazing summer for us. Some huge guests, some big interviews, big time festivals coming up, and we can't wait to get to all these shows. Guys, that's what we do. We hope that you're out there doing it as well. If you ever want to be a part of what we do here at Music Mania Podcast, which is our website, musicmaniapodcast.com, we do reviews. Of course, all of our shows are archived there on our website. I think 130 interviews, 130 podcasts now. If you ever want to be a part of what we do, just drop me a line, musicmaniapodcast@gmail.com. If you want to do a review for us, guys, we'll help you, get credentialed for shows. We don't mind doing that. If you want to write a review, take photos, we will do that. We will use our platform to help you harness your craft. If you want to write reviews, do podcasts, do interviews, we'll help you do that. Just hit us up, musicmaniapodcast@gmail.com. We always appreciate it. But before we get to our interview with Aaron, Peanut, got to talk to you about our sponsor, CD Warehouse in Gladstone, Missouri. Guys, for over 22 years, a staple of the Northland. They buy, sell, and trade CDs, DVDs, vinyl, and more. Do not let the vibe of the old school record store go by the wayside. Give them a visit off Antioch Road in Gladstone today. Tell them Music Mania sent you, and there will be a discount, or it's on us. CD Warehouse, a staple of the Northland for over 22 years. Louder Than Life, America's premier 3-day rock festival, comes to Louisville's Hiley Festival grounds at the KY Expo Center, September 27th through 29th, starring Guns N' Roses, Slipknot, Disturbed, Rob Zombie, Godsmack, Marilyn Manson, Breaking Benjamin, Chevelle, Hailstorm, and many more. Single day and weekend passes are available now at louderthanlifefestival.com. Experience it live. Hey, Peanut, welcome to the show, my friend. How's everything going, brother? How are you, man?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, doing great. Of course, everybody in your camp has a lot of excitement going on this summer. Busy as always for you guys, but everybody's talking about the new album Voyager, which is coming out June 28th. Your 13th album. Just kind of talk about this album, kind of the process, and what people can expect from this thing when it comes out June 28th.
We're always on the exploration tip. We're always into expanding our creative, playground, and that's always been the case. From album 1 to album 13, we're exploring our possibilities, trying to be open to these new sounds, and trying to be true to the old sounds, and it's fun to just stretch it all out, see how wide of a scope we can have.
And I believe this is the second consecutive album which was recorded with Grammy-nominated producer John Feldman. Talk about that, his influence and kind of his work, and how important he's been for your guys' sound on these last couple albums.
Working with Feldman is great and hard, and that's where you learn things. You don't learn things by doing the same thing over and over again. You can refine your process with repetition, and that's super important, but it's also important to try absolutely brand new things in music, and John is a limit pusher on all things creative. He's in the moment. He's probably ruminating about something right now. He works so fast and so much that it's hard to hold on to. It's so different than the way we work, and it's really fun working with him. I believe there's 4 of his songs that he helped us write and produce and mix on Voyager, and then there's 9 songs that we did in our kind of old school way with Scotch producing and the band writing everything together with Scotch and having Chad have his heavy hand on writing riffs and stuff, and it's an important aspect to our identity, something we're never going to let behind, but we're also going to keep, pushing forward, trying to find new sounds.
Well, one cool thing about this, and the album can be pre-ordered right now on your website, 311.com. Of course, digital, CD, or vinyl. Got running the gambit there. But anyone that orders this thing gets entered into a chance to win a lot of prizes. You guys got meet and greet passes, autographed goods, limited edition memorabilia, tickets to shows. If you go pre-order this thing, there's a lot of perks for fans to do that. I think that's really, really cool. And of course, it's available in all the formats. So you guys are kind of covering all the bases here.
Yeah, we've got a good team in our camp, making sure it's as easy as possible to get the album and be excited about what's coming up next, and then those random factors of VIP shows and backstage passes and extra vinyl and signed this and that is just our way to swindle our way into their hearts, and we're pretty good at it.
Well, you guys have been doing that for a long time, and we are looking so much forward, of course, to another summer tour. You guys are just like the summer tour bastions of music. You guys are just synonymous with being out on the road and great summer memories for so many people. But you guys got 35 shows coming up and a killer lineup. It's, of course, you guys with Dirty Heads, The Interrupters, Dreamers, and Bikini Trill. It's on sale now, 311.com again. Talk about this tour, how this may be the first time you guys have done a tour of this magnitude with this many bands in a while. This is awesome. Talk about kind of how this came about. And you guys will be back in Kansas City here July 10th. You guys are a Kansas City band, if nothing else. You guys are here every summer. We love it.
Well, and we're going back to Sandstone, too, right?
Yes.
Is that true? Yeah.
It's been a while for that, so yeah.
I saw Lollapalooza there when I was still in high school. Seeing Susie and the Banshees and Jane's Addiction, of course, and Body Count, and I can't even remember
That's
all the
awesome.
bands that were
I remember
on board,
that.
but it was unbelievable. And then I remember we played one of our first biggest shows ever at Sandstone. It was like a $5 ticket, and there was, I think there was like 10,000 people, and that was when we were just kind of getting our teeth cut and really starting to build up the momentum. And then that was one of the places we realized, yeah, this is home. There's an aspect to this audience that resonates with the music that we're creating, and we'll always come back. We love Kansas City. I mean, SA is drinking Boulevard every night. He's drinking the like barrel quad, super strong Kansas City beer. And
Okay,
I'm proud of him for
that's
doing that.
that's pretty good stuff. I roll with the Tank 7 on the Boulevard brand. I'm a big fan of that, and it's going to be exciting. We've had you guys here at the Crossroads several times, which is an amazing venue, and I know you guys have been there. But back out to Sandstone, it's called something else now, like ProvidenceMedicalCenter.com. You know how those venues do. But 35 shows on this thing for you guys. Dirty Heads, awesome band, Interrupters. This is a killer lineup, and it's got to be just cool for you guys to be back out on there on the road, and with bands of this caliber, it's a killer bill, and can't go wrong there.
Yeah, I mean, Dirty Heads are on a tear. The last 10 years, they've had incredible success at radio. Also, like, it's not like super high-key success. It's that low-key kind of smoldering that actually builds up a very long career. So I'm super proud of the way that they're making moves. They're sticking true to their sound. Radio gives a shit, which is nice. That always helps. And the Interrupters are absolutely blowing up right at this moment. They're in the place where we were in 95 and 96, like when we were opening up for Cypress Hill, and we were selling 10,000 albums a week. It was an advantageous position for the headlining band, and in this case, we're sharing the stage with the Dirty Heads. So to have the Interrupters support both of our bands in the way that they've got a huge new audience and they've got tons of heat, it's me wringing my mad scientist hands together like, oh, this is perfect. Like, oh, it's finally happening. Dirty Heads are releasing new music. We're releasing new music, and the Interrupters are on fire. So yeah, it's going to be a great summer tour. I'm really looking forward to it. I wish I could bring my family for the whole thing. That's kind of kicking the teeth, being away from everybody every summer. Like, that's the other side of us being so relentless about traveling and getting in people's faces. Is there's in my house there's these two little guys that keep expecting Dad to come home. So it's brutal, but it's the life that we've carved out for each other, and we make room for flying the family out in the middle of the tour almost all summers, so it keeps the sanity at an acceptable level. You don't want to get your head underwater. You got to keep your head above the water, and I don't know. It's fun. It's challenging, and it's amazing being supported for this long. All these years. I think about the difference between like the 1950s and the 1980s, and how just insanely the dramatic sea change that happened in those 30 years, and that a band like us that's been allowed to exist for 29 years now, from 1990 until 2019, is it's just incredible for me. It's hard for me to wrap my head around, and I love that we gain new audience members, we lose some audience members, we get praised for our bold moves, we get shunned for our bold moves. It's really a great chess game of creativity and trying to please ourselves and knowing our audience and stretching our own desires and accepting that change that comes with making these bold steps, with releasing music that we know is going to polarize the audience, and talking about good feelings, like there was so much like, oh, I love this, and like, oh, I hate this. It's absolutely like down the line, like, okay, well, you hate it, like, okay, let's talk about that. You hate it. Okay, you know what? Maybe it's not for you. Why are you taking this so personally? Like, this doesn't necessarily have to be your song. Look at your 10-year-old. That kid is rocking out to this song, and we really did. Like, we wrote it for the kids. I think we wrote it for like an under 15 audience.
Yeah.
To like, why not? Like, those people are in our house. You know, I've got an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, and we've got 10 kids in the camp. You know, and it's important for us to resonate with a vastly younger audience. And if we've got the chance to do that, then I think it's a step in the right direction. And also, at the same time, I think it was a brilliant move. We'll let the history books decide to release both singles at the same time, to have it like a double A-side. And Don't You Worry is like the most heavy, you know, adult song you can have about being a support system or being on the weak side of the support system and having people out there watching your back, and we've got you, I've got you, you've got me, all these things where we're wrestling with personality hinges, rusty or otherwise, and just trying to make it an enjoyable life, you know, just by connecting with people and, you know, maybe asking for help when, you know, I think that's a great part of being around, you know, alive right now, is that it's okay to ask for help. And I think that's one of those things. Don't You Worry is heavy like that, and I think it's amazing. So if you don't like Good Feeling, shut up and listen to Don't You Worry.
That's all part of the evolution as humans and as a band. That's, you see that, and that's wonderful. 29 years later. Before I let you go, I got to ask you about the month of March. We're only a month removed from 311 Day, which of course featured your feature film, which I haven't seen yet. Enlarged to show Detail 3. It was shown in 240 cinemas nationwide for one night. 16 to 20,000 fans estimated. Check this thing out. I can't wait to see it. Just kind of talk about this film, what it meant to you guys, and to have had that released on 311 Day back on March 11th. What a cool deal this is, and I can't wait to check this out.
Yeah, it's just like the cruise. Like, here's this great idea from a production company that you know, obviously has some fans involved. And with Six Man and the Cruise, it was, I mean, this is a huge, it's just insane that we get to do it every 2 years and sell it out. It gets bigger each time. We had no idea. You know, it takes letting people, you know, you got to take that meeting. You know, sit down and be like, okay, well, what is this? You know, why do you think we can do this? And then 6 cruises later, it's like, oh, okay, well, we're really good at this. You know, what a good team we have, and how, you know, thanks for thinking that we can pull this off, because these were ambitions that, you know, we didn't even know were possibilities. So it's incredible. And the movie, the fact that it was in 240 theaters is something like I'm going to either get tattooed on me or I'm going to put it on my gravestone, because that shit is incredible. I'm a movie geek of a high order, and for us to be sitting in the theater and for the audience to be reacting to, you know, the people that they love, the personalities that they love in the band, and all their friends that they see, including themselves, in all these situations, most especially the cruise, because there's a lot of cruise footage in the movie. And the movie took 15 years to pull off. The fact that we had Wayne and B-Love at the helm as far as directing and editing it, long-term fans, you know, love those guys. They know what to do. They know how to make us look in that kind of environment, and we had to trust them to, you know, come up with the goods. And everything that I've heard was absolutely positive about the movie, and it was just, it's great. I mean, I'll be thinking about that for the rest of my life. And it was funny because the people at Trafalgar, the production company that helped us release Enlarged to Show Detail 3 in theaters and put the whole thing together in general, they're like, hey, let's do this again next year. We're like, that would be great, but this took 15 years. You know, we can't just do that again. But it was great. They're so excited, and I think they're happy about it. So, you know, we're thrilled to be making these new alliances in areas that, you know, we could have never predicted when we were kids putting this together. Like, hey, someday you're going to, you know, your home movie, we won't call it a home movie anymore. We won't call it a backstage movie. Let's just call it a movie, and we're going to release it in theaters.
I love it.
It's insane.
That's unbelievable. I'll tell you what, this is going to be such a busy time for you guys, which is great. 29 years into this, you guys have done so much and touched so many people, and can't thank you enough for joining us today. The new album is Voyager. It'll be out June 28th. 13 tracks on your 13th album. It couldn't be any more perfect. Peanut, I tell you what, can't thank you enough, man. We'll see you on July 10th here at Sandstone. We'll grab us some Boulevard, grab us some barbecue, and we'll do it upright, my friend. We'll see you guys soon, man.
Oh man, really good talking with you. Continued success with the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. We'll catch up soon, and good luck on the tour. We'll catch you on the 10th. We can't wait.